Hi guys and welcome to my channel. So in today's video I am going to be talking about the pros and cons of being a stay-at-home mum. The reason why I put the quotations is because I'm not actually a stay-at-home mum per se. I do work in the evenings and weekends, so I just want to get that out there. But in terms of like spending the whole day, you know, with Olivia, I'm gonna say it's kind of like a stay-at-home mum, which is why I've got the quotations. So anyway, I've got a list which I feel are the pros and the cons of being a stay-at-home mum. Now, if you are a stay-at-home mum, please do put down your pros and cons in the comments below as well, because it'll be so interesting to see what you guys have to say as well. So it will also bring up a bit of conversation too for those people that may want to become a stay-at-home mum. So, shall we start? Number one, I've put flexibility. When you're at home with your child or children, in my case, I have an 8-month-old, next week she'll be an 8-month-old. So I have that flexibility to do whatever I want with her in the day. I can plan our day, we can stay at home, we can go out. So we have that flexibility, not just around Olivia, which is my daughter's name, but also around our family. And with the added bonus, obviously my husband being self-employed, that gives that extra flexibility for us as well to spontaneously do things as well. So instead of like work commitments getting in the way of spending time with family and things like that, we have that extra flexibility. I have that flexibility with Olivia as well. Okay, so number two, this kind of runs along the same lines as the first thing I just said. So basically I create my own schedule to meet Olivia's needs and my needs as well. So without thinking, you know, work stuff, daytime I'm talking about, I can solely just think about Olivia and myself and think, okay, you know, schedule our days to meet her needs, you know. And I guess, you know, if you was working, you could also create a schedule, but you're not a part of that. Whereas for myself or for a stay-at-home mum, you're a part of that schedule as well, you know, so you can choose what you want to do. Right, I hope that makes sense. I'm not sure. Anyway, number three, I'm able to see all of Olivia's milestones. So I've seen her when she first sits up, when she's first trying to stand. So every first attempt of Miss Olivia, I get to witness that. So that is a pro of being a stay-at-home mum as well, is that you just don't miss any of these fantastic once-in-a-lifetime milestones of your child or children. So number four, no work stress. Okay, from a 9-to-5 job in my case, there is no work stress at all. Yeah, so no work stress from employers or employees at all. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to think about it. You know, it's not my problem anymore. So number five is that childcare costs can be really expensive. So in some cases, being a stay-at-home mum, you can potentially be more better off financially than if you went back to work and put your child into nursery. I know that in the UK, the cost of nursery full-time, let's say, can come up to about £800, which is ridiculous, I think, personally. I mean, unless you get benefits or something like that. In our case, we don't get any benefits. Everything we have to pay for. So for us, it is cheaper. And, you know, I get it. Not every parent goes back to work after maternity leave full time. I understand that. You know, I think that was something that I was querying as well. But still, it is really expensive. I know that when Olivia turns 1, for example, we are thinking about putting her into nursery for just 2 half days a week, you know, because she's getting older and she's getting to that point where she needs that interaction with other children and she needs that independence in a way, if you know what I mean. I know she's a baby, but she you know, in terms of learning development, you know, so we are looking at putting her into nursery. Right, now the cons, guys. So yes, you know, it can seem fantastic to be a stay-at-home mum, but it's not greener on the other side. I tell you what, being a stay-at-home mum is tough. It is hard. And like in my mind, before I had Olivia, I had a child. Before I had a child, you know, you don't think about all the different things you have to do. It's not even just the things you have to do, but the tiredness and all that other stuff, which I'm going to go into. So let's just get into it. There is the chance of you becoming lonely, because you can easily isolate yourself, and yeah, you can easily isolate yourself from the outside world because you're so focused on being at home with baby, doing other things, you know, because time goes so fast when you're a stay-at-home mum. You know, it really does. I know that in Olivia's case, she has like 2 naps in the day, so that kind of restricts me to a point of, you know, doing things for a certain amount of time outside of the house, because she has her 2 naps a day. She has 1 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon, an hour and a half each. But yeah, that can stop me from going out, because I think, oh, Olivia's going to be really, really touched. You know what I mean? So it's like I really have to think about stuff before going out. And sometimes it just really puts me off. I just think, you know what? Let me not go out today. Let me just chill and, you know, do whatever I have to do at home. And by the time you know it, a few days has gone by and I have not left the house. I mean, thank God I have good friends who come to visit me. You know, and yeah, I could, you know, go for walks around the block, but that's still something that I'm doing by myself. It's nice to be able to, you know, do stuff with friends, you know, and stuff like that. And number 2, I was going to say, is that it's not easy to make mum friends, guys. It is not easy to make mum friends. Number 1, it's not even just making mum friends, it's maintaining those friendships as well, because other mums are busy. They also have their own schedules. It is tough, you know, so sometimes you do end up lonely and isolating yourself unintentionally from the outside world. So that is also a con. Number 2, like I was saying earlier, that it is hard work. You may not think it, but being with a baby, a child, for 24 hours, I cannot just leave the door and think, okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow, like you can when you go to work. It can get really, really demanding, and especially the older they get, the harder I feel like it's becoming, because she's more alert, she's awake longer, and trying to entertain her, and you know, now she's eating as well, and it's like, man, it just does not stop at all. And it's like, it's not that, you know, you're just looking after your child, or I'm just looking after Olivia. It's actually doing stuff in the house as well. You know, you can't neglect your house, so you're cleaning and you're trying to look after a baby. Oh my God, it wears you out. It wears me out anyway. Yeah, so it's like doing so much housework and looking after a baby that you don't end up doing anything else, and then by the time you know it, it's 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and you're exhausted. You're so tired that you just don't want to leave the house anyway. You just want to go to sleep. You just want to sleep. So yeah, that also. So another thing is boredom. Do you know what? Think about it. You're an adult spending the majority of your time with a child without any other adult friends around you. In some cases, not all the time, but in some cases it can get pretty boring, you know. And same thing day in and day out. Some of you are aware that, you know, babies like routine, and it's also good for them to have a bit of routine and structure. And it's like you're doing the same thing day in and day out and day in with this baby. And yeah, it can get a little bit boring, guys. It can do. Yes, okay, so probably this one I have found the most hardest. I'm not saying this is how Ilko has been, but you could easily think that's what they think. Or, you know, you may feel like, and you may feel undervalued, and you may feel undervalued or misunderstood. Your partner, your husband, or your wife, or whoever may not understand the amount of work that goes into being with your child 24/7. You know, some husbands come home from work and think, how comes the house is such a mess, type of thing. And you're like, do you know what? If only you saw my day. Do you know what I mean? Trying to manage a child, trying to manage the household, trying to also do things for yourself, for your mental health, you know, get outside, get fresh air. Time goes so quickly, and there is so much we do that sometimes there's so much that we do, but sometimes people don't realize the amount of work that goes into what we're doing. It's not just physical, but like mentally it is tiring, you know, as well, because it's so demanding, you know. So yeah I don't know whether that was more cons than pros, but I don't know. I mean, for my case, like I said, I'm glad that I do a bit of both. I'm self-employed as well, so I go out to work in the evenings, some evenings and some weekends. So I feel that I get a little bit of a balance. But in the week, during the daytime, you know, like a 9 to 5 type of time, you know, some of those cons are real, you know, some of them are real. And yeah, it's hard work. It's really hard work. So to be honest, parenting, whether you're a stay-at-home mum or not, is tough. It is not easy. You know, as long as you've got your support system around you, you know, you're loving your child and stuff like that, you're all good. Oh, and also you're not neglecting yourself too. You know, it's all good. You know, we're all in the same boat to a certain point, you know, of raising a child, you know, to the best of our ability, you know. So yes, I thought this would be like a bit of a light-hearted, video. Yeah, so there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Right guys, so I do really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please do subscribe, please like and comment. Let us know what your pros and cons are if you are a stay-at-home mum. If you could put it in the comments bar below, then, you know, it'll be good to spark up some conversations. And yeah, I think I'll see you guys next week. Bye.